Hi. Hi. Some people are really, really battling at the moment and not feeling well because of these. We've been blasted. We've had a few solar flares. The sun's been very active and facing Earth. Wow. So if you're feeling it, you're going to know about it. Wow, and this wind's picked up. Very gusty, strong winds. So it'll affect the weather. We'll have solar storms and people getting headaches, dizzy, nausea, all kinds of, things. So some people are battling. Some people actually felt the impact yesterday. They felt like that it was like a massive surge on their heart. They thought they were having a heart attack. I was like, oh, no, but that's how sensitive you are to energy. You see, it's easy to see who's there. So some people are not feeling well. And now I want to talk about something that people have seen. I don't know how many people, but I presume quite a lot. And when something is in the consciousness, it's out in the quantum. So anyone can pick it up, depending on the frequency and vibration you're at and whatever. So what people did was many light workers that saw a big event. They called the event they've been waiting for since 2020, I think. They've been waiting for this big flash. What they saw was a big flash of light, and then like everything changed and all kinds of things. We don't have to go into detail. So they've been waiting for this big event. Like Uluru, we kept waiting. Well, something's going to happen. There was like a big thing that was going to happen. It has an impact, put it that way. And now if you know what's going on, you can see what was foreseen. So obviously that big flash, that big event, that big like massive light that they saw and did quite something, is a solar flare, a big CME. And we haven't even got to the height of this. This is the thing. It's only it's on its way up. It's been progressing. And then 2025 is the climax of it. So it depends, on the facing, these CMEs, and there's a massive ejection that's facing Earth, full impact. Then that's what, they saw. When, which, don't know, Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That's nice of you. So, yeah, there's a massive... so this, obviously, a lot of people were frightened. They thought this was the event. This was the 5D, the splitting of Earth. Because, you don't know. You're trying to interpret what you're seeing sometimes. And this was a while ago. This was first given to people. I think it was 219 or 220. So first, a lot of people thought the big event was Uluru, that something big, this big thing was going to happen. But it didn't. I mean, I didn't also kind of get a lot of things I saw in the beginning. I was shown things and you were trying to interpret or, and put them together. And as time has gone by now, we're able to understand more. It's like, now you know what that meant and what this was and these things you were seeing, Interesting stuff. I saw the setting up of the planet, the energies, like our magnetosphere. Hi, darling, how are you? Hi, darling. You want to join me and say hi, Bethany? I see you there. If you want to send me an invite, by the way, on this subject, obviously, not some random person that just wants to, whatever. If it's to do with this, please join me. You're welcome. You can send me a thing to join my live and chat if you've got any input to do with this. But many of us were seeing things. I saw so much stuff and it didn't make sense. I saw galactic battles back then. I saw these spheres like Uluru. I don't know if anyone was involved in the Uluru event. Many of us were. So under Uluru, there was this sphere that was going around and we thought it was a spaceship. Hi. We thought it was a spaceship, and so did I. But then I was also shown these things all around the planet. A lot of us were these beings that came here, back then anyway. So this is why everyone's got the idea. I'm trying to remember. You've got bits of the puzzle coming together. But I had seen them around Earth. And what I was told, and what I knew, that they were to balance the energies. They were going to restore the balance. And then I listened to Cryon talking about the nodes and the nulls, time capsules that were left by, he says, the Palladians, right? And then I was like, bingo. I know a lot of them were. I saw them. And I saw battles taking place over them, like, I don't know how long ago this was. All kinds of weird shit I saw. But yeah, they were placed around Earth like a circle, and they were to balance the energies. And he says now, to the restore. So what we think restore the energies is to pick up the energy back to a higher frequency again. Because remember, we dropped into the... People think it was like a bad thing. It was everything, nothing happens by chance. There was no doom and gloom and you were imprisoned here and nonsense, you know. We as humans dropped more and more into the ego, into the developing the mind, the analytical, the brain, the mind. That's what we did. So yes, so obviously people in a higher consciousness, yes, they got, as a lot of Atlanteans were saying, they got dark and they were, you know, they were getting bad because the ego was growing and growing and growing. So towards the end, they did the esoteric knowledge was kept also, like the priestess, you know, well, a lot of from the public as well, you know. So like anything, even the Buddhas do it to a certain level. As you get to a certain level, more knowledge, and then you get taught, right? So there were people with a not good intent, and they were recognizable in those days by the red energy, because a lot of the Atlanteans will tell you they had blue or green energy, and then these people, you know, the bad ones they called, had red energy, the lower chakras. They had dropped into the lower chakra. So they had taken this energy and they were using their abilities for wrong. So they dropped from the heart, and this is when the nonsense started, and this is why the whole esoteric thing went underground and was banished anyway in the end. Good. Thank you. So yeah, neither here or there. But this is really, you know, we fell and then we developed the mind, which we lived in for I don't know how long now. The conscious mind, the analytical, the ego, the total, you know, the total separate identity story. Forgotten who we were. Neither here. So this was interesting, yeah. So these spheres were to restore the energy back up to a higher frequency. And our consciousness activated the first one of them. It was a test of consciousness level. The Uluru thing, that was taking enough consciousness to activate that thing. It's fascinating, actually. The whole event was, I mean, to see what happened was fascinating. This way, you know, through here. It was amazing, actually. But then it only dawned on me afterwards, because I knew they were to store the balance, and they were like round balls, like spheres. It was strange, placed all around the planet in strategic areas. And then I saw when they originally set this up on the planet. So the whole planet and our, what you want to call our energy field and everything was set up. And it was set in place, like almost like a protective dome shield. It was so interesting. Yeah, anyway. Before we came and did all this nonsense or whatever. Anyway, so there's a lot of people talking about the event, and they're waiting for this really bad event they're worried about. I wouldn't worry about it, but yeah, we know we're going to see, as you notice. So people that have been, you know, conned or told there's no climate change, you're in for a surprise. Because these solar flares and these CMEs, if you notice, are going to affect our weather. These massive gusts, I mean, they are like nearly 2,000 kilometers, these things hit the planet. The speed of these, this is the force of those CMEs when they come hurtle towards Earth. You know, they're over 1,500 kilometers they're moving at. You don't have to worry what you're worrying about. That's why we have divine guidance here. Candles, you know, and things like that. So like people have survived on this planet a long time. What do you think when you go camping? So people have got common sense. So yeah, we've got some, and this is going to affect our planet. Don't think it's not going to affect the planet. This solar cycle we're going through is going to have a huge effect on our climate and the planet. We're going to see massive storms, weird temperatures, wind, you know, all the kind of thing, droughts, floods, I mean, you know. And then as you notice, we've got massive volcanic and earthquakes and volcanic activity, because the energy, the same as it's doing to you, is affecting the planet. We're all going through a change. Like your body is upgrading, and so is Earth. She's having to adapt to these higher frequencies. No, I don't. So this is what a lot of people saw, yeah, and they've been waiting for what they call the big flash, the big bang, the big flare, the big, all they saw was like a massive white light. Because when we first saw this coming into the planet, it was like a heads up. We didn't know what was coming. We just saw, I can tell you what I was shown, and most people were shown the same thing. First of all, the first light that I saw coming into the planet was this crystalline light. So it looked like rainbow light. So this crystalline light was coming into the planet, but it was going into Earth, and we knew it was fixing Earth or doing something to Earth. It was Earth grids we didn't understand. Yeah, it was sorting out Earth's grid, getting rid of all our shit and karmic and bad energy on the planet. So Earth's grid, the rainbow or crystalline light that we saw coming to planet into Earth, was that was the part of our awakening, cleansing, changing. Then we all saw white light like this, obviously through your third eye, because it's the sun's plasma, the light that's hitting the planet. You're not seeing with a naked eye. Although there's a woman, American lady, Gina Caradonias or something, whatever, I don't know, she's in America somewhere. She's doing all this UFO, taking pictures and catching all pictures of UFOs and tons of it. There's a lot of live cameras, live webcams around the planet in different cities and places. And people got a bit spooked when they first caught this on live webcams. The sun plasma. Now it's plasma. So as you can see, that's why they're worried it'll take out their communications and satellites and grids. It's fascinating to watch because this plasma, it looks like a weird web. This light, it's attracted to energy. So that's why, you find a lot of these problems are happening around the power grids, power lines. So you see this plasma like going, it's like coming out of the electricity and the light poles and climbing all over the place. It looks like a weird moving, it's alive. It looks like a live spider. It's like a web. And I think you might be able to see it unless they've moved them. But these live, Gina Coven, that's it. Yeah, that's her. That's her. She's quite sweet, but she's spelled out in the lower chakra, yeah. So she caught that. And it's fascinating to see. And it was like, whoa, because now we've got certain cameras and pens on their technology. And the same with the military. When they had infrared night visions, put it that way. They had infrared and they had another one originally, a different one. But the other one they took away from the soldiers because they were able to see things that they weren't sure what the hell was going on. So besides picking up body heat, human body heat, this was picking up shit that they, the unseen, put it that way. And it was freaking the soldiers out. So they stopped using that. But that's why I say certain technology now, certain lights, ultraviolet, we're able to pick up the plasma. And this is also what's been going around. I saw some videos. But it's been also, people are being manipulated too. They're spinning rubbish because, they can manipulate people. So certain Air Force planes and things have different, obviously, equipment and radars and things and sensors and all kinds of stuff you wouldn't even know about. But they're able to pick up the sun plasma light. So there's been pictures going around, oh, look, there's a strange blue glow or red glow in the sea. That is to do with this plasma light that's been picked up with whatever equipment or tech they have on their planes. So they're strange, and this is why you've got the aurora borealis or whatever. That's, far seen and spreading and bigger and all over the place. This is all it is. It's a very, it's a cycle. You can find out. You can find out about it. Earth's magnetic field. The shield is weaker. Far more sun flares. And da-da-da. So how it affects us. And this is why you are all being affected. Schumann resonance, Earth's magnetic field affects every living being on the planet. NASA's done tons of research on it. There's, lots of it. How it affects people. It affects birds. It affects the navigation. Whales are affected by it. And that's why the beach... there's a shift in the magnetic in the north, which has moved. Our compass has moved. So it's all of us are getting our bearings, and this is how sometimes you can feel dizzy. All right, it is a big spike in the Schumann resonance, Earth's magnetic field, or a change like has been zapped. You can feel dizzy and out of balance because your balance and everything else, is linked to Earth's field. You have a chakra under your foot, which is called the Earth Star Chakra. And if you look, I think actually I remember seeing a picture. They found a leather shoe about 5,000 years ago in good nick, and it had beads. It was beaded underneath, and it had like a star shape underneath the sole of the foot in bead, done in beads, Earth Star Chakra. Because wherever you walk, they knew they were in communication with Gaia. So when you walk on the earth barefoot, Gaia knows exactly. Okay. If Gaia knows where you are, and you are, it's like a communication. You in communication with the earth. Yeah. No, we're in the new times. That time ended. Yeah, we're in the old epoch. We're in the new times now. The old times are finished. Yes, you're dizzy. You will. That's what I'm saying. But it's not something your GP will know. The normal doctors, they're not studying this, and nobody briefed them this is going to happen. And remember, it wasn't like we had this type of science back then, last 20 something thousand years ago, or more than 12,000 years ago. So this is what I'm saying. People are going to the doctor, they have headaches, they're dizzy, they have extreme exhaustion, depending on you and your sensitivity, pains and aches, and they have no freaking clue why. And doctors can't find any clue. So, of course, you're going to look at the common illnesses going around and blame that. Well, it must be that. It must be so that. And the symptom list just gets longer and longer. But it's got nothing to do with the illness going around. Because NASA found out how important the Earth's magnetic field, or gravity, whatever you want to call it, is to their astronauts when they sent them into space. It changes your biology. You can actually die if you are too far long away from Earth's gravity or Earth's magnetic field. You won't survive. The astronauts won't be able to live. This is what they're trying to do. You have to copy Earth's magnetic field in order for your astronauts to stay on Mars or something like that if they want to live there, if you want them to live. Your biology is be very connected to the Earth. Very connected. And remember, as I say, if you understand the brain and the research now, your brain, your pineal gland, it's got teeny crystals, same with whales, it's how your guidance. So it's almost electromagnetic. You are affected, and you give off electromagnetic wave, a torus field, your heart and your brain. So you will be affected by electromagnetic things, frequencies, vibrations. And these are massive ones coming in from the sun. You see, that's all. And this is what's causing the raise in awareness and consciousness and everything. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, grounding will help you. Lying on the grass with no thing on, no pillow, just your head on the grass and your feet, the actual soles of your feet on the grass or on sand, or that'll help you a lot. Qigong, Tai Chi. Because a lot of people, you need to get the energy. If there's any blocks, you'll have pains and things. So you need to get the energy. First of all, make sure there's no blocks in your system, which is emotion that you didn't process or trapped emotions. Who knows? People have held on from kids. So that will give you problems. And circulate your energy. That's what Qigong and Tai Chi is, the energy body working through them. They understand it. That helps a lot now. Water, sleep. Yeah. Yeah. And especially if you will be more and more sensitive anyway. Your body is changing the same as the earth. So what you're seeing, earthquakes and volcanoes and all that stuff, it's shifting, it's her changing, and like going through her process, like we are shedding what you would call a dark night of the soul or whatever. Earth is doing her transition, and same with you. So you are changing your physical structure, your body, each cell. As they know now, science will tell you the latest science, the cell is nothing in the center, it's multidimensional, it's energy, right? So just energy, it's atoms, your molecules, the smallest level of you are energy. You are made up of trillions and of cells, right? And that's energy at the center of them. So what is happening now, your energy, your cells are being blasted with this new incoming light, right? So your cells are being, spinning at this speed, and now the new one comes in, it's like zzz. This is why you can feel it, your body going, zzz, people saying their body's buzzing. You feel like your body's tingling. You feel like it's getting a mild shock. You feel like it's buzzing your cells. It bloody is. So your cells are now getting this new information and thing. So they are now having to simulate this new energy, this new light, plasma, which you can't see. Now, when you've got dark, dense energy, which are emotions and shit, it's being cleared out, and then you'll feel better. And your cells now will be vibrating and simulated and recalibrating. They're recalibrating to this energy. So your body is physically changing and changing its frequency and vibration to calibrate. You're right. It's got to be on sync with this incoming energy. So you've got balance. Same with Earth. So your body is constantly, oh my gosh, okay, woof, there's another big one. Now it's going to have to recalibrate your cells to match the energy that it's in. You see? In fact, does that make sense to anyone? It's a bit logical to me. So now you're sitting in a soup which you can't see, and if you go with your third eye, what you look, it's wow, this earth is light. When I saw this coming in, I was thinking it was interesting, and we just knew it was the awakening, right? So I knew it was going to wake people up because I saw this light coming in and going through people, but everything through the houses, it just penetrated everything, and that was for the people. Yeah. So it well, obviously it makes sense, but I mean, a doctor wouldn't know this. A medic doesn't know this. Average person in the street hasn't a freaking clue. We put it together, and they probably think you're Lulu anyway. But the science will back you up if you go and check all this. So could you imagine now you're sitting in a pool? This is what I'm saying. We're seeing it. When I view Earth now, the other day I did a live and I did it. Wow, we are saturated in light. Wow, we are. It is a huge difference. And I mean, it's keep coming in even now. Like at the moment, we're under my head's going zzz. We're under an intense, this weekend. We've had a few, shit. So we are saturated. So if you could see it, let's just imagine, you are sitting in this pool of, let's say it's an energy, a frequency, a density of water, right? But your body is different to that. Your body is, I mean, it has to adjust, in other words, to what its environment, what it's in. People that don't, they won't live. That's a fact. Your body can't. You won't stay on the planet. That's just a fact of life. You're not going to physically survive. It's like our astronauts can't go land on Mars and just jump out and la 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 la, because they're not acclimatized. Their bodies are not at the same. They're not in sync with the things, the environment, the energy, the frequency, the air, the whatever it is. No, they can't. Same as you now. So all your cells, your biological body is trying to do is adapt. As this new, it's okay, whoops, we got to now. So that's why you're like, oh my gosh. So you can feel like bloody exhausted and you'll be man down because your body is like, now all of a sudden, zzz, so your poor body is trying to like now it's recalibrating itself. And then once it's calibrated, you're like, fine. Until the next one. It's like a shit. So yeah, this has and science has proven this, but I mean, we haven't had this, and now we've got a real test. When scientists were doing this, we didn't have solar flares, we didn't have this, we weren't going through this cycle. I mean, they would have had, now they're going to have data to collect, big data, but no one's put the two and two together, because the doctors aren't going to NASA and aren't checking online. They're going to be looking for an illness. They're going to be looking at, they're looking for a problem. They're looking in the wrong place, you see. And there are definitely people that understand it. There are the Navy understands this very well. They've been studying frequencies and microwaves and and all kinds of shit and radar. They've got the energy weapons. So yes, but they don't exactly go. They're not doctors, and I don't know why no one's telling them. I haven't a clue why they're not. Who knows? I think it's part of the political nonsense going on, games and rubbish going on. So there seems to be a lack of communication between all divisions of science. That's a problem. Of science and everything else. I don't know. So I'm saying nobody knows, and no one knows if there's going to be. See, I don't know. No one knows. A lot of people have seen it, so they expected it, but nobody knows when. It's like me. I saw a lot of things happen on the earth. There's such a thing as time. We know, past, present, and future. It's in a circle. So everything's actually now like it's happening. Your past, your present, your future, and there's many different versions and timelines. It's difficult. It's complicated. So when you see something, sometimes you're not sure if it's the past or the present or the future. You haven't a freaking clue, and there's no timeline. So when I asked about something the other day, we didn't have that calendar, so there was no, in our Earth time, I could say, it was 200 BC or something. I didn't have a bloody clue. It was way before that. I don't know, people. We have to wait and see. And I don't know how, it depends on people's physical bodies, and their health status and their consciousness, if they're going to handle, how they're going to handle these, big whacks that we take. We haven't got any example. We haven't been through this, where we've got recorded history of this. You see, the last time we went through this shit, we had Atlantis, bye-bye, whatever. But that was because we had those, a huge part of that debris. We had big debris. but we had they set up, our friends, galactic friends, set up protection around the planet as well, energy protection. That's why I say it was interesting. So we were like kept safe here in our little energy bubble. Yeah. While we had our Earth experiment, playing this free will Earth experiment thing. But the setting up of the planet was interesting. When you go back and you see, even before there were humans on the planet. Oh, it was funky. This was weird. Very funky. When you landed here and there were no humans, but man, it was weird. It wasn't anything like the vegetation like you've got now. Everything was like oversized, supersized. It was like Giantsville here. I mean, it was weird. Massive. Everything was incredibly, trees that you can't imagine and things. I mean, it was like, this is like, this was funky. I don't know if anyone's ever gone back to see that. That was freaking funky. Yeah, it will be. You see, your brain go and have a look at your pineal gland. It's like it's got lots of crystals on it, actually. The scientists have found out. So it's like a radio antenna. And now what you're getting is it's being buzzed big time. At the moment. So, and you got the human resonance going, Earth being like zapped. The consciousness gets zapped, everyone's zapped. The weather goes crazy. You will be. Sometimes you can feel pressure. You can feel like pressure. You can feel like a heart attack type symptoms. You can feel extreme exhaustion. Some of these things before they come in, you can't sleep. You'll be like, like the ever-ready bunny, you're feeling great and you're full of energy, and then, doof, when your body starts shedding, you're going to be like, that's what I'm saying. You're like this, and then you're extremely, oh my Lord, I just want to stay in bed, or you want to eat. It's just crazy. Yeah. Yes, it absolutely affects your sleeping pattern. You can go for nights where you're not going to sleep one bit. No, that's a bit, yes. Nothing to be excited about, because Earth's going to go through some serious weather issues. And some people aren't going to do too well, my friend. So it's not something you should be excited about, because some people are not going to manage their health. They won't survive some of these things. See? So it does do well if you eat well now. Do things, because you think of your body as energy, then you're going to be okay, right? Yeah. Yeah, so you'll feel better after you're grounded. If you go and spend half an hour grounding on the earth, you'll feel so much calmer. Wow. Tai Chi, or go even do that in the garden. Qigong. Okay, you need to think of your body as energy. You've got to keep that energy moving. All right, as you don't have problems. Flow, smooth, calm, balanced. Water's great. Salt water, earthing. All right. Because you are energy. Science will tell you at the core what your cells and atoms are. It's energy. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, of course it works. Oh, well, I know. Bloody excellent. But I mean, some doctor, the average people are going to doctors and GPs, which study, they don't do anything in nutrition, maybe one day. So when it comes to nutrition, it comes to not a freaking clue. Take a pill, probably this, off you go, Yeah. That's why I say it's not something you should be excited. We must try and help people and guide and educate people and assist them, And sometimes, like if you're very old school and your mind is not open, this is too far out for you, because it's something you don't know. It's not something, quantum physics and any of this stuff is not taught in school. So now you're trying to approach someone and maybe the information's a bit too much and they're on a lower frequency of consciousness, they're not going to get it. But if they are suffering, instead of saying, it's probably the sun, they're probably going to think you're some lunatic, because I've done it to people and they look at you, yeah, right, I'm sure you believe, whatever. They're too lazy to go and look and, educate themselves. So what you do is gently assist them, instead of trying to, argue with them and tell them what it is, because some people just, aren't there. you can help them. You can do this exercise and qigong or reiki. You know what I mean? You can do what you can. You can't force people as well. It's free will. And we all know on a spiritual level they have guidance and soul guidance, and if they haven't chosen to, they're not tapped in and they're not getting, in that place where they are buying into all the fear of everything that's happening on the planet, and it will be happening on the planet, they're not going to get their intuition. And then, you're eternal. What's the worst? Your body dies, you die, and you come back. When you die, when you come back, they'll come back in a higher consciousness, because they'll come back in bodies adapted to the higher energies. Whereas if you're in an old body here, your body, like now, all our bodies have to recalibrate. So you're in your body's got to change to the new energies. The ones being born are coming in with that energy already, you know what I mean, adapted. This is the difference. So people don't feel bad too if people don't make it or choose to opt out, because they will come back. It's easier for them, their souls agreed, probably, to come back in a new body, because it's too much time. Maybe it's too much for them to deal with all their darkness and shadows and trauma, and to process it and go through it. If they're older too, they just think, oh, what's the point? So they make a decision on their souls. Okay, they're not going to do it. So then they will leave early and they'll come back in a new body, in a new paradigm, which will be a lot easier for them. See, so there's more than one aspect to look at this. Okay. Yeah. There's many aspects. So things aren't always what they seem. So don't judge people, you see, because sometimes it's too much pain for them to overcome, so they don't want to awaken. It's just not worth facing it. They'll rather come, they've chosen not to, and then they'll leave this body and they'll come back in a new one, and it'll be so much easier for them. See? Yeah. It's a choice, a soul choice. Well, some souls have chosen not to. They just don't want to face it. It's got too much trauma. They don't want to face their shadows, now, and they're in this body, face all this. So they've chosen not to. They're resisting the raising in consciousness of frequency and vibration, okay? Because as we know, to do that, you've got to shed all the darkness. In order to take on more light, higher frequency and vibration, you need to do your work, what they call the awakening. Where it's coming out, if you're unaware of it, you're going to be crying and fighting with your friends and family and everything, and you won't have a clue why. Poor people. So some people are going through a hell of a hard time. Life's falling around apart. They're losing jobs, and they have no clue why it's happening to them. They think everything's terrible. They're going to have a tough time in this new thing, because your consciousness determines your outcome. So if you take a negative view, it's not going to work out well for you. But if you're not sure what's happening, it looks like that. It looks like you just, everything's going to shit and you're in a handbasket and you're a victim. Because they're not, conscious of what's going on. So yeah. I don't know. We have to wait and see. And it's not for us to rescue them. You can only do what the person's ready to hear a little bit, and in their own time, and then you have to see how their soul guides them and when, what happens. I don't know. Anyway, so if you ask me when the event is, I haven't a clue. I don't know. None of us are going to know. They don't normally tell you anyway, D-Day. And same with some of the things I see. A lot of the things I've seen, actually, funny enough, I got to see that. There's a pattern. A lot of stuff that I've channeled and I saw coming a year later. It's like normally a year later, boom, boom, they happen. So it's like a heads up I almost get. Because a lot of stuff that I saw coming and things, it's always before, yeah, ahead of time. Depending on some of these updates, I get them just before the collective get them. What's going to go through the collective or whatever, I don't know. Yeah, planetary stuff, I don't know. Yeah. Oh. Sorry, people. Oh. So if your heart is feeling it, you've got funny sort of pains in your chest or your heart, it's because of this, okay? Your heart is very sensitive to electromagnetic field, to the energies, frequencies, of vibrations, and when there's a big spike, and this isn't even a big one yet. Oh, good grief. That's why I'm saying, you know what? We are eternal. Whoopee, you know what I mean? That's it. So and same with the things. We're going to have a lot of issues on Earth. We're going to, as you say, you see there's a lot of these big surges of energy are going to set off more volcanic movement and maybe eruptions and earthquakes. This is what happens. So it goes into the earth, reverberates, and then reverberates around like a ring. So energy moves in like a circle, right? So then it's going to reverberate around and it starts coming up. And then you'll see the earthquakes. So just after we have a big like this, big incoming, give a few days and you're going to get you're going to see earthquakes ring out, and then another big, around the planet, and then some volcanic activities. So basically what's happening to you is the same as happening to Gaia, as within, so without, as above, so below, same thing. Yeah. And we are affecting our consciousness. This whole turmoil and stuff on the planet also has an effect, because absolutely everything's connected. There's no separation in this whole story. See, so our consciousness affects Gaia. Everything. It has a ripple effect. Everything is basically affecting. Anyway. So there we are. And I'm feeling my chest. I'm feeling it. The planet. It's a name. Gaia is the name of the planet's consciousness, put it this way. Yeah. Earth. Same thing. Yeah. You can communicate with the planet. Good thing to do. And say thank you for the food, thank you for everything, it sustains life for you. So the more you say thank you to Gaia, the better for you or for anybody. And to the elements. I actually going to do something shortly about food as well, to help people to do their affirmation type things when their blessings, their gratitude affirmations when you do your food, when you eat. This will help you no matter what you eat, for your health and for your body. And if you're, maybe having to eat things that aren't that great, this will help your body as well. So I was actually I was guided early on to do, like I do things when I eat, about your health and your body and the food. So that you'll get the best outcome from the food you are eating and the best health. And so I was guided to share that, but some people it's going to be so way off for them because they haven't done their research to understand that your consciousness affects your actually everything. That we'll get there. But everything is consciousness and energy. So what you believe, how you think about your food, what you believe about your food, or whatever, is going to affect you. Your consciousness basically overrides everything. And if people that are doing like I'm saying, like tapped in, will know, because if you speak to certain other beings on higher levels, some of them only eat once a day or eat beans or bloody a liquid or something, right? Or don't eat at all. Why? Because there's no resistance anymore. They haven't got resistance. They've got to a high enough consciousness. They're in a state of flow. They're not blocking the flow by fear, by resistance, by whatever. They're just in the now. So they're constantly energy. They don't need to eat. They don't need to sleep to stop this negative momentum and nonsense we build up. So they are free. The energy is just moving. So then you will realize our food is not what we think. We think, oh, we've got to eat that and to get all the vitamins and nutrients. What you believe is what will happen to the body. So whatever you're eating and you are saying thank you for the wonderful food and nutritious, delicious, our body is going to get all the nutrients and vitamins out of it. Even if you're eating a loaf of bread, it will do it. You see, your consciousness and what you think about your food, oh, I can't eat that because that's bad. Well, then it's going to be bad for you. But if you look at, just for an example, like the old Maasai, they were fit, strong, muscular. Look at the old Khoisan. Could go 4 days without food, run for 4 days straight. Not much resistance in that tribe. This one, I mean, what they could eat, and people like, they need this, and many tribes. Perfectly healthy. They didn't have vegetables and fiber and a balanced diet and any of this nonsense. So you can see different things, but energy played a big important role. their consciousness, their happiness, their, you know, I mean, they had no anger, pain, resistance, fear. This. Buddhas show you the same thing. They can sit up on a mountain in a square box, not move, not exercise. You know, have rice every day won't affect them, you see. When we learn to clear out all our shit and raise our energy, and we just and we in the flow moment, when we've mastered our energy, food won't be an issue too, you see. And you won't have the illness, but it's consciousness. So your consciousness, what you think about what the food's going to do for you, makes, and what you're saying to your body. So if you every day are doing your affirmations and thanking the food you're eating and stating how wonderful it is, your body will make the most of it, whether you're eating a burger or a salad. You see? And some people are going to be in a less advantaged situation. So if we teach people to do these gratitude and affirmations for their food, they're going to benefit from it. You see? So we've got your consciousness is what you believe affects, same with your body. You can lose weight, like as Joe Dispenza said, you can build muscles without even doing any workout, by just meditating on it. You see, so you understand what you think will affect, same with you. You can lose weight, you can have the perfect body, you can build muscle, you can, whatever you believe about your food and say. So you thank the food when you're eating it, do the whole blessings, because it's in consuming it then with the right consciousness and attitude and things, the food will benefit you and you will get the results you want. Anyway, that's another whole thing. I need to do that one. So I'll start maybe doing some videos about this for people, and some other affirmations about self-worth. But that's been going through the collective now, so people would be really guided to do their self-worth, self-love things and whatever else, and work on that. You're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, that's we get there. We get there. So this is something I want to do some videos about the food and what they can say when they eat their food, and watch how the difference your health and whatever you're eating will benefit you. So we're going to work on our, as I said, consciousness is your energy and consciousness. We can always just remember that we're good. So, but what we believe and think is so important. So that's why we will learn. It's a practice. We're so used to thinking negatively because it's the way we're brought up and the world we live in. Look around you, please. Everything. So if we just, every time we think of something, if we can catch ourselves and think, oh, that doesn't benefit me to think that. It's like your brain will automatically, in the old days, it's almost like gravitate towards the worst outcome or the negative outcome. Oh, that's probably, you don't worry about it. It always looks something, It was, totally wow. But with this new shift, it's going to change. You will change. You will change. You'll notice that already people are. How you're thinking. You'll be guided to stay away from negative shit. And, drama and yeah, and more positive, and it will go through the collective, you'll see, as the frequency rises. Anyway, we'll get there. All right, people. Ooh. I can feel the buzzing. Wow, and I heard the wind howling again early on. Wow. It was some serious gusts of wind coming in, and my cells are buzzing. So you can feel your which are just energy. Your cells, every cell is just energy, right? But I can feel them going zzz, so they've been buzzed. They've been hit by some good energy. Yes, I know. We had yesterday and today some serious gusts. Yeah, but these Siamese, the last one that came in was over 1,500 kilometers. Impact. I mean, it comes hurtling at us, and it hits our magnetic sphere. It's actually, someone said it made a tear in it. I was like, ooh, I think I shared it. I shared the screenshots on my TikTok. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see some things on the planet. Some of us have seen them, and I channeled some of the stuff a year or so ago as well. I just didn't know what, but I did know there was going to be things on the planet and other things happening. Yeah. That's part of the shift. Don't go into fear, don't worry, don't stress. Let's remember everything's consciousness and energy. Always expect the best. See the best. Really? Yeah? Okay, nice. Yeah, expect the best, see the best. Same with Gaia. Thank the elements. Send love to them, send thanks to them sometimes if you remember. So, you thank the air, thank the water, thank Gaia, thank the wind, everything. Thank them for the expansion and consciousness, light, frequency, vibration. Thanks for being here for the shift. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have fresh air. I have food. Or if you start realizing how abundant you are, wow. Then you're like, wow. If you got clothes, if you got a warm place to stay, if you got a nice home, do you have food? Do you have water? Do you have clean water to drink? Do you have fresh air? Yep. And remember, what you think is what you'll get. So if you know it's this and that, well, then you're going to, you know what I mean? So don't look at what is. So if you can, if there's polluted, then that's what you will get, and that's how you will get sick. You're just doing harm to yourself. That's what I'm saying. What people don't realize is their consciousness controls everything. So when we will start teaching ourselves not to look at what is, but what we want. Then we'll know then you know you're already on the right path. But it takes a lot of programming, a lot of correction, because it's your mind has been taught to go the other way. So it's like, okay, no, that's and pull yourself back again. It's work. It takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they said. Aye. So yeah, people, patience. All right, but just don't always try and think when you open your mouth. Say what you want to get out of it. So even if you're living in a place where it's polluted, don't say that. You see, thank you for my nice, clean, fresh air. I'm healthy. I am well. Whatever, Yeah, perfect wellness. My body's in perfect harmony, balance, perfect energy, vitality. See, I am flexible. I'm fit. Firm, I have great mobility, thank you, daddy, whatever, off you go. Go with the flow. Let it just flow. There we are. That's a good one. And let it flow out of you, your affirmations, your gratitudes, your appreciation, and it will. See? All right, people, I just thought I'd pop in and say hello. Say everyone's doing. So don't focus. It's another thing about this. That's why I don't talk about it. Don't focus on, expect now. You're all sitting there expecting a big flash or a big event. That's what you do. Because remember, you are manifestors. You create. All right. You don't want to be purposefully out there unknowingly creating something that's going to maybe harm other people. You see? So that's what I say. Do not focus on the negative. If I'm shown something, I'm shown it. And then there we are. I don't wait every year. Like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? That's the old third world drama, excitement, doom and gloom shit. Addicted to drama. It's like all these bloody crap people are addicted to. What's going to happen? Do you see? That's drama. That's very... So no, we don't focus on it. We don't keep talking about it. So if you've seen this, okay. If it is, it is. What timeline? So I don't try to, because I don't want to manifest it. Not in the timeline I'm on anyway. See? So if it's there, it's there. One of those things, If it happens, it happens. And don't worry about it. I don't think about it. I don't put focus on it because it's not a positive thing. And if I do think about it, that's my opinion. Is having happened, it's going to be good. All going to be good. There we are. Everything always works out for you, doesn't it? Yep. Absolutely. Everything always works out for me. Things just keep getting better and better. Affirmations are bloody wonderful. It reprograms the mind, and the mind will think like that. And it's easier for you then, you see. So don't focus on something like that's just drama. That's very lower energy, lower consciousness, lower chakra. So when you're focusing on shit, ooh, would you see what's going? Ooh, expect that when they're gonna have, ooh, they're gonna do. Get out of the lower chakras. Do more inner work and raise your frequency, vibration, and light. Okay. And so your consciousness will raise and it'll be easier for you and you won't be doing anything that's not good for you. All right. Or the planet or anybody else. You'll be doing any things that are, Love you guys. Have a good morning, evening, day, wherever you are. It's all going to be good. Go and rather be useful and tell people how they can help themselves. You see? And start doing these things even with your granny. You don't have to tell her then. You can maybe do Tai Chi or Qigong with your granny. Just show her and say, come granny, do this with me every day. And let granny would do it with you every day. I'm not telling her, oh, you better do it because this and that and that. You know what I mean? There's ways of doing things. So you can go to the park and start doing Tai Chi and Qigong with the granny or with your granny. And she doesn't have to know why. It's good for the health, or you can tell her for the mental health, for balance, for dementia, whatever you want to say. You see? Ways of doing things that'll help people. If they're resistant, if you went into an old age home, start doing Tai Chi and Qigong with them. Say it's good for dementia, balance, health, whatever. Fine. They don't have to know whatever else. So there's ways of helping people where you get least resistance. Also manifest that. You see, everybody I interact with, I meet. This is one of my affirmations, and especially when I go shopping, because I just love it. I love it. And this is a world I want to live in, right? So I do this. It's part of my affirmations, and it's a part of my reality, actually. So everybody I meet and interact with are kind, friendly, collaborative, okay, and helpful. It's always an uplifting, enjoying experience for me. Everybody I meet and interact with is kind, is friendly, is helpful, is collaborative. It's all, and guess what? They freaking are. They'll open the lift for me, carry my groceries to the door, and I'm like, okay, thanks. People are. They'll stop, I'm out of the way. Why? Because I'm projecting, that's what I'm claiming, that's what I'm stating. And that is my reality, and that's what happens for me. Can you imagine if we all did that? What kind of world? Your world's going to be a lot better. Try it. Bloody awesome, I tell you what. People get out the lift, even old people. Hi, all friendly, would you like, let me just run out the way. People offer to help me carry, and I'm like, see? That's because I am creating it, I'm manifesting, and I'm claiming it. That's the world I want to live in, know, and see. And so it is. You see, start creating a better world. This is what we're here to do. People call themselves way showers, light star seeds and things. What do you think you were sent here to do? A way shower? Show the way. Not like lemmings off a cliff, to teach them, to help them. Not to show a worse way. Oh, you better be careful. Oh, they're going to come and get you. That's you in the low chakra, then you're in the bottom 2 chakra store. Yeah. Exactly. There we are. We are here to show the way. We are here to teach and guide people to the right way, to a higher way of being. That's what a way show is. This is what we are doing. We are helping people, and through our example, they will follow. Because the energy you hold and consciousness you hold, being higher, you are pulling the collective up. Because people frequency doesn't, that's what your body's doing. It's calibrating to the higher frequency. The higher frequency dominates lower frequencies, lower consciousness. So when your consciousness, you are dominating everybody around you, people. And we're teaching them, we're pulling them up. We came here, well, it depends on you. You volunteered to help guide and uplift, help, guide, lift, whatever, all these things. Humanity. And that's what we do. With wisdom, calm. So here's an affirmation for any light seekers and way showers out there, right? Do this one, because Source will gift you with this. Now, there's no point having consciousness without wisdom. Because if you don't have wisdom, you're screwed. You don't know how to use it. There's no point having this a tool if you don't know how to use it, right? So do your affirmations, right? And you get it. If you ask, you get it. So claim it. Thank you, Source, for the great wisdom, clarity, and discernment I have. It's really a true blessing. Thank you for the gift. Thank you, Source. Thank you for my great wisdom, clarity, and discernment I have. Thank you, Source, for the great wisdom, clarity, and discernment I have. And you will have it. All right. And you do. You need wisdom to guide yourself and other people through so know when you see. Claim that wisdom and discernment and clarity, because that will really help you now. All these things. There we are. We're here to guide people. Right. There we are. All right. Good night. Have a good morning, evening, wherever you are, guys.